So welcome back, folks. It is Sunday, just after lunch, so I think it's like 1 o'clock. So we've got the cow that calved yesterday morning tagged and through. She's up there. She's one of the older cows. So I think at the end of the last video you saw our first timer radar. That's her wee girly, a little 55 pounder, doing great. It was a little bit of a rodeo because we still haven't figured this out, how this is going to work best. I know, Jesse. We tried to bring radar through the front of the pen, but they won't cross all that frozen rubble, poop rubble. So I've started hand bombing a lot of this out of here till I can get the skid steer warmed up. It's not cold, but it's still chilly. There's Rue. Belle is the one, just, you can see middle of the screen there, is the next one on the list, and then Peanut. You're gonna be coming soon enough. So we walked her in through here, me and Mrs. Piper Doug. We used that gate to form a funnel from here to that gate from there. So we walked her around and got her up into there. Gave her 5-10 minutes to settle down in the pen. She was going round and round and round, but as soon as the contraction started, she simmered right in. She tried to lock her head in the headlock from the outside. Weird, it was like asking for help. So you saw in the video, it wasn't a very, I didn't have to pull the cab. She pushed the cab to me, which is how I like to do heifers. Most of the heifers I won't have to pull, but I will give them a hand because I'd far rather just be sure. And there you go. They were feeding by midnight last night and they are well matched, but they'll stay in here today unless we need the pen. This is supposed to be 2 pens. This is supposed to be a 3rd pen. And then this is the gate out, so this will be an open area. So going forward, these 3 will be birthing pens with a maternity pen there. And then this area and this area here will be penned in as well, mainly for holding areas or for collecting areas. And then that last corner there will just be for getting into the water trough. And then these 2 here will be open to them all the time to shelter from storms prior to calving season. So yeah, I'm just hand bombing this right now. So yeah, you saw at the end of the video, a little red cow had a little heifer calf right at, what was that, 12:30, 12:45 before I went in. So they were great, and I know Bud Light is a really good mom. Hey Roo. So yeah, Mrs. Piper Doug gave me a yodel this morning. She had already, one of the other favorites, Boo, the one that had the poop on her face in the last video, she had her calf. Her calf climbed out through the feed rail out into the feed passage. So Mrs. Piper Doug scooted him, big boy, scooted him back into the corral. And then when I got up and had our coffee and then checked on the cameras, and he'd back out through the feed rail into the feed passage. So had our coffee, had our morning service, if you know what I mean. And then went and put him back in, and oh my gosh, he's not the tallest, he's not the longest calf, but he is one of the heaviest calves I've ever had to pick up in my life. He must be at least 100 pounds. Like I just couldn't get over it. Like when I went to pick him up, for knowing the size of him, I was not expecting that weight. So yeah, I'll put him in the next clip. So yeah, today's gonna be pretty busy. So I want to get this cleaned up. We want to try and get our gate system a bit more refined here because we're going to be into the thick of our heifers here right along. I don't like to stick around too long here while she's getting this figured out. So okay, we're gonna go and feed that pen and do some more bedding in the calved cows. So okay. So yeah, I had to edit down the last video that you watched because it ended up being almost an entire matinee. This segment that I edited out that I'm redoing is this. So as you can see, this whole bale stack here is gone now. So I brought them out and staged them because they were so buried in snow that they were coated with ice lines and chunks of snow. So the nice thing was, this stack of bales here was earmarked to get the whole herd to March 1st. So it's now March 2nd and we still have a few more days of bales, so that's an awfully nice buffer window to have after last year where we were pretty tight on bale stocks, but we did that on purpose last year because we tried to help out as many as we could. Now we still haven't touched the bales from the big field. We did feed some of the first cut while the cows were over in the ravine before they came up to the yard for winter, but we only used, I think, 2 stacks. So that's what we're going to be using once this stuff is done, because first cut is lower quality, just with the way the weather was. And then we're using second cut on the calved cows. So yeah, that's the part. So there's nothing hiding in behind that huge snowbank anymore. So hopefully we won't need anything to do with snow catching anymore. That's ironic, thinking how much snow is out there and there's nothing holding it there. It's just whatever stuck to the ground and then just kept sticking down. So you can see some bare ground, but not much. Anyway, I'm gonna get number 2s done. Another spring-like day. That's us 10% done calving. I know that sounds brilliant. But we are technically done 10% calving. Somebody was asking in the last video how many animals we run. We don't run as many animals as we used to when it was a family corporation. We are just shy of 120 calving out. So we have, so that's the thing is, outside of our personal information, we are very transparent when it comes to how we farm. Like we are a bare bones, no frills kind of a ranch. We don't buy in a bunch of dietary mixes of grains and things. The biggest thing that we do for buying in to add to the animal's diet is mineral tubs. And we are very picky about who we buy our mineral tubs from. I'm very skeptical of, there's a company called Max. When they first came out and they were talking about their fantastic numbers, I spent an evening just on Google looking at who owns Max. It's called an American family business, but it's American family business that sells the tubs. It's not the American family business that makes the tubs. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So yeah, we grow different kinds of hay. We raise our animals as naturally as possible. We are, for all intents and purposes, an organic beef farm. We are not certified. It's not something we choose to be consumed by. We just grow healthy beef animals, sell on the open market. We don't sell beef privately as of yet, but it's something we're kind of thinking about. So in this pen right here, there was supposed to be 12 heifers calving, first timers. There's actually 13. That little one, furthest away black one in the middle of the screen, that's Butterball. She's the one that was mauled by the hybrids. You can kind of tell there she has 0 for a tail. End of her tail was torn right off, and her private parts are quite badly scarred. But on inspection, everything functions as it should, so we knew we would take a hit at our at market, so we kept her. So we'll run her one season. She is, as far as we know, in calf. So we'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and there's no real reason that she should have a trouble. She comes from a good bloodline. So in this pen, there is technically 15 3-year-olds. Now, half of them have calved before, half of them haven't, because these guys ran to Captain Pointless last year. Teens calved, Maggie calved, Lone Star calved, Squeaks is a different story. Squiggles calved. Actually, these have all calved. This is 3 of the same family right here. That is cool to get that lined up. She's an older one. So there is 2 4-year-olds in here. Squeaks is one of them. Eddie, she's the black and white. She's another one. And then there's a cow in here. I don't know where she is. She's probably laying down around the back. She's in here because she had twins last year and we let her keep them. But we figured if she's keeping twins, she stays by the yard. Worked out really well. The twins ended up pretty good. One of them is still in here because it ended up being a little short. So there is 15 in here, plus 2 4-year-olds, plus a cow. So there's 18 in here. So if you're all doing the math, you can stick with me here. So yeah, there is 3 girls in here that still have calves at foot. They were late calves. Boo, you went and spilled your bucket. I'll talk about her in a second. So, just assuming that nobody has calved yet, and this is where it gets a little gray, because we have moved animals. So in the gen pop, there's just shy of 90 head. So like I said, we're just under 120 cow calves. Cows to calf. Anyway, you get what I mean. So we have started calving. We are at 12 cows have calved so far. We have 11 cows and calves on the farm as we speak. We have one today so far. She is Pixie, up at the back. For the long time viewers, you might remember the name Pixie. Pixie is the daughter, the last daughter to the ancient one. Pixie is off of the red cow, sister to Jet, who was the matriarch to like 9 or 10 of the cows out here, family members. Her mom was 23 when she had her, and then she aged out. She went to market. She walked on the trailer and she went to market, healthy as a horse, 23 years old. Never missed a beat, but just a calf every year, and we just thought we're not gonna test that anymore, so she retired with dignity. So yeah, there you can see Pixie. I'll see if I can zoom in here. Pixie's got a nice little chocolate dark baby right there. Great mom. And that's her. Is that her second or third baby? Mrs. Piper Dog might chime in the conversation there. So yeah, we have 2 or 3 that are very well could go today. Felicia up there with the white band across her forehead, she is way close. Ty is way close. I think that's her in the middle of the screen. So yeah, we got lots. Now Boo. Boo, and if you see back there on the left pan, there's a red one with a little red baby. That's Bud Light and Shandy. So they just get moved through. These guys get moved through. Now, that is a 1-ton nugget of a bull calf right there. Now Boo is petted. Boo is, I don't know, she's a little off right now. I don't know what's going on. She's a little, you can still pet her, she's just not her normal self. Well, I put them out into the gen pop, processed them, gave her Ivermectin, gave the baby his tags, his button, his meds. And then he wandered around the pen yelling at her. She was head deep in the bale. She went over, sniffed at him, kind of followed him around a little bit, and then came back to the bale, and he just kept standing hollering. You're just making a mess, aren't you? So I knew they would be fine, but she was up here near the gate, so I just went and grabbed him, walked him back through the gate. Sorry, I'm zoomed in, haven't I? So they walked them back in through the gate and run them back in through and just gave them the big pen here. Just to be sure. I don't like leaving things to chance. That's why we made this, is for this very... Are you standing on his foot? No, you're not. Okay. He's a kicker, by the way. So I'm going to leave them in here for an hour or 2. I got to take the dog to the vet. He needs his physical. And we'll let them out afterwards. And then we've got to the first timer tag the baby and maybe leave them out into gen pop. And hopefully the rest of the nutters, because there's no babies in this pen yet, hopefully the rest of the nutters will not be too much of dinglehoffers. Chase the baby around. So yeah, that's a little background into how many animals we run. We run 3 bulls. So the main herd is usually somewhere between 80 and 90 head. So we run 2 bulls with that, and it served us really well. We usually have a really good package for calving. And then we usually have 2 other bulls. and we'll run one bull with the second timers and one bull with the first timers, and then we rotate them around. So this year, because we only have technically 5 breeding females in this pen, we got 4 picked and then the 1 hospital case. What we're going to do is, hi Phoenix, what we're going to do is we're going to put those 5 with these 13 that are going to be second timers, and we'll just make a pen of 18, and we'll run Puddin' Pop. And then Nikki, who's in training, Nikki will run with Puddin' Pop with these girls. But high chance that Nikki won't do a whole heck of a lot in his first year, considering he's their age. But at least that way he's with the crew, he watches, he learns, he's close by the yard. So that's where we're at, folks. So I'm gonna get about my day because I got a lot to do. And this is what one of our pet first calvers looks like. And this is one of the ones that was furthest from a pet, looks like. Calmed right down. Picture perfect. Yeah. So yeah. This is day 2, so we will probably let them out when I come back this afternoon. I think I already covered that. So yeah. Elizabeth, hi sweetie. Like I said, we have pets that are first timers, but the one that calved was not one of them. Hi Candace. Hi sweetie. I don't mind if you're not in calf. You're a little small. You were a late calf off of your mama, because she was an older girl. So pet, that's Padme. So Butterball, Lou, Belle is next to Cav, Rue, and Jessie is a pet. So yeah, we're more than 50% of the first calvers are pets. So yeah, when people say it's nice to see that we are very sedate and it pays us back, that's how you get this. Hey squeakers. Anyway, yes, I get into spending too much time with these girls. So there's the old one, all detonated and such. The drive shaft's in the workshop. So that. So yeah, that hub, the whole hub assembly with all the gears inside, and then the half axle. How much do y'all think that was to have it shipped from a breaker yard in Ontario? Drum roll? Yeah, not even close. $5,000. Yeah. Boy, when you need something, they sure like to let you know. It works, so that's kind of what matters. Man, oh man, I thought it would be maybe $2,000–3,000. Nope. Cinco. Well, that's this paddock done up to the half mile. But I think they said it's supposed to freeze up again next week, stay below freezing, which is actually good, because if you look at this, she's starting to break up. I don't want to do too much damage out here, so if we get some good freezing days, then I'm going to try and get as much hauled as possible. See, there's mud. Yeah. So I'm going to leave this here right now because it is soft. If you look here, there's mud. There's mud in your eye. I don't want to make ruts out here. So, yeah, that's a bit of a conundrum at this time of year. So I'll just take these 2 down. I'll come back for these either when it's frozen in the morning, early day, blah, 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 or we're supposed to get back to freezing just below 0. But next week's supposed to be back to like -6, -7, so that'll help. See, look, water. Well, after a trip to Verdon and Verdon Valley View Cooperative, picked up a set of these heavy duty draw bolts. Yeah, it is what it is. They're a little expensive, like 20 bucks a pop, but it saves me making something. I thought about making a little frame and things, but it's welded all along here, it's welded there, welded, and then I didn't need both of the loops, so then if it works out on the wall when the gates are open to let the cow out of the pen, I'll cut that into two and make two little bolt receivers for the outside wall. I can't undo these right now because when the wall is not installed, it's sitting like this, it's under pressure. So once it's bolted up to the other wall and the other rail, the other gate, these should be fairly straightforward. So that, as they say, ain't going nowhere. I might use a flat disc just to clean all the spatter and stuff off because I don't want anyone getting any cuts or whatever. Should be, for the most part, they're all pretty good. I just kind of ground it down a little bit to make sure it's not gonna catch anybody. So yeah, that's her. That's the first complicated panel I've ever made, so I think it looks like something. So yeah, this will be the gate that opens right at the man door out. So if we're bypassing one of the pens, the cow can come down, go in that gate and into the pen, and then come back out this one and go out. So this will go up, the partition gate will go up, and then we'll measure the gap left that goes. There's a panel there, and then there's another one of these that will go from there back to the maternity pen. So it'll look like this, but it might be just a slightly different measurement because I have to fill a space in. And I was asked that question about the maternity pen, the head gate frame, because we have it bolted to the wall down one side and we have it bolted along the top between the walls, but it's not bolted to the floor and there's nothing holding the one wall. Well, once this next panel gets made that goes from there back to the maternity pen wall, it will actually be clamped to it. So I'm hoping not to put any bolts into the floor because just with chance of rusting bolts and stuff. So I'd rather not drill into the concrete if I can help it. So tomorrow we'll put her up. Okay, we'll go out and do a last check. So, like I was saying in a previous clip, that's the Ancient One's last daughter. The Ancient One's grandson. There's Penny, that's Liam's cow. So yeah, that's the only one born today. So, that's alright. I'll take a single. Like I said, that's us 10% done calving already. Penny, are you next? There's Queenie down there. Usually the ones that come over here either just like their space, just because they like their space, or they like their space because they're gonna calve. Because if not, they will stay over here in Gen Pop. There's a lot of fit to be popped ladies over here. Wide load, wide load, wide load, wide load. Hey bird. Yeah, I dare say we'll be thinning out this, hey Gunner, we'll be thinning out this herd pretty quick. It's still nice tonight, it's cool, but it's the right kind of cool. So we're gonna wrap this video up here. Who keeps talking over here? Oh, that's Pixie. Go feed your baby. Hey Star. Hi, my sweet girl. Hi, darling. Hi. Oh, wee soldier. Yeah. Darling. Where did Ruby go? That Ruby there. Yeah. Wee girl. Oh, today was all over the place. Had to do a run to Verdant with the dog to the vet. Oh, that's Pugsley. Pugsley doesn't like being clapped. Pugsley's quiet, she doesn't like being clapped. So, yeah, it's good to get that panel done. We'll get it into the calving barn in the next video. And hopefully lots of more babies in the very next video. So, we'll leave you off here, folks. Thanks for joining us. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And we'll see you down in the comment section. If not, we'll see you in the next video. Teddy bye.